Hello, this is Eli G. Brown / Eli G. Brony, and here is a combination model. This is the combination model between the sets of Mask Maker versus Skull Grinder and Skull Scorpio. And what we get is a larger version of Skull Grinder using the Mask of Creation. Okay, so this took me quite a while to build. I did get the instructions from Lego.com, Bionicle.com, so I knew exactly where everything was supposed to go. And this is pretty much what you get when you combine the sets together. It's quite a big thing. Like, it could have been an official set. At least I think it is. And this really looks like a good design for like a mock. Like maybe if someone wanted to make a just some sort of tall mock, they could easily follow the instructions to make this, so they could make something pretty big. They don't have to use the same weapons as this model does. I mean, you could just switch out a number of pieces that this model uses and just put on your own pieces. That's what I do when I make mocks, using instructions for official models. Sometimes I go with the pieces that the instructions tell me, and sometimes I switch out some pieces, just to try to make something unique. Okay, so what we have is a character that is mostly orange and black and gunmetal gray and silver with a little bit of the gold and transparent blue from Akimu. And there's also the lime green Borak eye pieces from Skull Scorpio. They are put on the weapon. Speaking of which, the weapon features this ability where you can just open and close the pieces just like that, which is pretty cool. Quite surprised that they didn't even add anything at the ends of them. I probably could have done that, but I just wanted to show the real official model. The legs were quite difficult to move about, but I certainly like the look of them. I'm not quite sure if you could really bend them in a good sort of way. In fact, yeah, you see, it's quite difficult to turn the legs. So, just like that. It is quite difficult, but the model is still pretty good on its whole. And it's quite incredible that they use the Mask of Creation on this. Pretty much to show that this is simply Skull Grinder making himself bigger. In fact, possibly you could say that this is actually supposed to be Skull Grinder and Skull Scorpio merged together. And the gold pieces are just a result by the fact that he's using the Mask of Creation and that Akimu is not involved in this combination, even though he actually is, but I'm just saying maybe not in universe, just on the model itself. I'm just saying that Akimu being used on the model in the actual set, yes. In universe, no. In universe, I think it would just be Skull Grinder and Skull Scorpio. Now, they did do something interesting with the horns up here. Rather than just sticking to the original way, they just kind of extend them a little bit. And it looks pretty cool. I also like these things on the back, which you can fold them down, just like that. They kind of remind me of the wings that Makuta had from the second Bionicle movie, Legends of Metro Nui, when he fused Nadiki, Kreka, and Nivak into his body, which, as a set, is called Ultimate Duma. They had to use the name Ultimate Duma to keep people from figuring out who Turaga Duma, during the story, really was before the movie came out. But we're not talking about Bionicle 2, are we? No, we're talking about this combination right here, from the modern Bionicle and, well, that's the end of my sentence right there. Now the gears, they work the same way. Though, with the tip end right here, that probably would make things difficult for when turning the gears. Okay, so this just looks pretty interesting, but I also have Skull Grinder's original mask, so I'm gonna show you what he looks like without the Mask of Creation on, and instead his original mask. And he looks like that. He just looks like the original version of who he was, rather than having just having a little influence on a Kimu be put right there. But I'm gonna switch them back for the rest of the video. Right there. If Akimu wasn't involved in the combination model, I probably could take a picture of him wearing, of course, the protector mask fighting against this. But Akimu was involved in the combination model. I probably could have just used parts from other sets to make the combination, so I don't have to deal with Akimu. Though, quite to my surprise, even the stand was used. You know, the stand that came in the Mask Maker vs. Skull Grinder set? Parts from the stand were also used. I'm not talking about just the mask itself, but also the stand. It was quite surprising when I was trying to find certain parts, only to figure out that those parts were on the stand the whole time. So, yeah, the stand's also part of the combination as well. So, that's all that I have for this one. Now that I've shown you the combination here and told you what I think about it, I am now going to take it apart and then build the separate sets back up again. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you again next time.